Aloha! Welcome to the Bishop Museum's Library and Archives for Throwback Thursday. I'm Hadley Anderson.
I am DeSoto Brown, the Bishop Museum historian, and today's theme is, do you know where you are?
I love this one because I usually don't.
You usually don't. Well, I'm assuming the people who are watching do know where they are, but the question is, I'm going to be showing you old pictures and then new pictures, and let's try to see if you can guess where you are. So there's your first picture. Well, actually, that's easy.
That's easy because it says down at the bottom.
It's got the name right on it. This is a photograph from the 1920s of Wilhelmina Rise. So there's no mystery here because it's got a caption down at the bottom. This was a construction photo taken by Hawaiian Dredging and Construction when it was doing road improvements in Kaimuki at that time. So it was installing sidewalks and gutters and wonderful things like that in the 1920s. And so you can look right on up the hill and see the burgeoning suburban area, although it's not been, as you can see in this picture, there aren't that many houses yet. And on this side of the picture is the Kaimuki Theater.
Oh.
Kaimuki Theater was there even in my lifetime. I went to movies at the Kaimuki Theater too.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, so today the view doesn't look that dramatically different.
You can still see all the way up the street.
You can still see all the way up the street. There are a lot more houses now, and the buildings on either side of Wilhelmina Rise are different. There also was, in the first picture, there were two stone pillars that said Wilhelmina Rise on either side because it was a suburb and it was one single development that occurred. It got started in, probably the teens, 1910, thereabouts. And so it was named Wilhelmina Rise at that time, and those were marking the fact that that was what it was called. All right, next. Now.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's gotta be downtown someplace.
You are absolutely right. Hadley is correct. This is in downtown Honolulu, although it doesn't look like that anymore. First of all, you can see that there is right in the middle of the street an electric streetcar from the Honolulu Rapid Transit Company. You also see that there is a traffic cop sitting over here. He's got a little platform to sit on and stand in, and he's got an umbrella over him. He is directing traffic. He's making people stop and go, just the way traffic lights do today. But this is way before traffic lights existed in Honolulu. This is 1924. Well, most of the pictures that you can see here either aren't visible in the next picture or they're gone completely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because, it's downtown. This is Fort Street. That was a picture of Fort Street looking Mauka on Fort Street from King Street intersection. This is the way it looks today. In 1968, Fort Street was turned into the Fort Street Mall, so it's paved. It was originally lined with many stores. They're all gone now because retailing has moved to other places. And as you also can see, there's this large structure, which is an underpass under King Street, that was built at the same time that the but it was done at the same time that the mall was created. And most of the buildings, as I said in the first picture, are not present in the second picture. But some are. They're just, you can't see them because there are trees in the mall now.
Oh.
Now, that's really not obvious.
No, definitely not.
Okay, this is not obvious, but I will tell you, it is Ohana Street in Waikiki.
Wow.
Yeah, so Waikiki doesn't look very similar to this anymore. This is 1960. Waikiki at that time certainly was where tourists were going, but there were very few high-rises at 1960, and they were only 10 stories tall in Waikiki.
Oh, wow.
There were only a few buildings like that. And so as you can see, it looks like a suburban street. There are stores on this street, and actually those aren't houses. They're not private homes anymore that you can see in the distance. They're rental units or they're apartments. But there's also still parking on the street, and there weren't any parking meters yet. And you're going right in on a sign that says the Nanking, I believe. That was a store that sold Chinese-style furniture.
Wow.
And that's not there anymore either. And I know that that's called the Nanking because my mother bought a table there. Well, this is what Ohana Street looks like today.
Well,
you know what it looks like
yeah,
today. You've been on it.
Well, this is why I couldn't tell where it was with the other picture, because it did look like a suburban neighborhood.
It did look like a suburban neighborhood. Well, actually, of course, Waikiki is a densely populated urban area now with lots of high-rises, and it's got buses, and it's got transit buses, and it's got tourist buses and trolleys and all the rest of it. And the street now is lined mostly with high-rises hotels and some apartment buildings as well. So Waikiki has gone from low rise in 1960 to high rise in the present day. All right, now this is really going to throw you, but there is something.
Okay, I see Diamond Head in the background.
You do see Diamond Head in the background. This is the late 1930s. This is 1938, and Diamond Head is plainly visible there. Diamond Head looks closer than it is maybe in this picture, and it's because there weren't a lot of things in the way. Back in those days, it's really quite remarkable when you look at old pictures. Diamond Head and Punch Bowl looked a lot closer than they do now because they weren't blocked by buildings. Well, this is Kapiolani Boulevard. You notice I was trying to remember what it was. This is Kapiolani Boulevard, and it's kind of across the street from, well, it is across the street from the McKinley High School playing field.
Oh, wow.
So you can see there's a little gas station there, and then there's a lot of open space. Not a lot of buildings, not a lot of traffic. And also the street had not been widened yet. It's just still 2 lanes. It was just a few years after this that the street was widened to its present size. And it was paved all the way out to the edges, and there were curbs and sidewalks, but they hadn't installed such wonderful things yet. And there's not only a gas station, but there's a little lunch wagon there too, parked at the gas station. So those have been around for a long time as well. All right, now let's switch to what it looks like today.
That is night and day.
That is night and day. Well, you can see on this side, as I said, that's the McKinley High School athletic field. But as with many other scenes in Honolulu, there are a lot more high-rises now. There are a lot more different big buildings, and Kapiolani Boulevard probably is going to be the site of a continuation of high-rises. In fact, I think all of urban Honolulu mostly is going to continue to become more populated with high-rises as time passes, because our population is not just going to suddenly drop away to nothing.
Nope.
And finally, this is really, you're not going to have a clue where that is.
No, of course not.
No, okay, well this is 1959, and it's a picture of the start of construction of something that we're all familiar with today in Honolulu, but this was the site, this had been the site of a large private home that was very famous at the time, and it was called Old Plantation. So this is the intersection of Kapiolani Boulevard here and Ward Avenue here, and the land is being cleared for a city and county facility, which is, pardon me for taking that away quickly, it is the Blaisdell Center. So in this photograph you see the Blaisdell Arena, but the Blaisdell Center extends all the way up to King Street, and that also includes meeting rooms, and of course it also includes the concert hall, and it includes a parking structure. And this was completed and opened in 1964-65. And originally it was called the Honolulu International Center, or HIC. And it was very difficult for all of us people to learn to call it Blaisdell Center after it got renamed, which was in the 70s, early 80s. I can't remember for sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But, okay, now here's our question.
Okay.
And tell us what you think the answer is. I mentioned that that building, the Honolulu International Center / Blaisdell Center, had originally been a private home, one big piece of property. Who were the people who owned it? Who was the family that owned it? Was it the Damon family? Was it the Dillingham family? Or was it the Ward family? And there's a clue, which I did mention, but I'm not going to say it again, that will clue you into who the family was.
Well, I have no idea because I've only been here for 5 years. And
Okay, but there is a clue. There is a clue. As soon as we're off, I will tell you what it is, and I think probably some people already know the answer. But in any case, that's Throwback Thursday for this week. And next week, we shall be back.
Wait, we have a question?
That's good.
Oh,
That's
wait.
all right. That's all right. We're getting
it.
comments. That's good. We like comments. We like to know that people are watching. So, join us again for Throwback Thursday next week. I'm DeSoto Brown.
I'm Hadley Anderson.
And we want to tell you also to not only come and visit Bishop Museum in person, but visit Bishop Museum online using our website address, which is bishopmuseum.org. And if you can come in person, that's wonderful. And if you just come electronically, we also will be happy to see you there too. So, till next Thursday, aloha.